So, hi guys, welcome to another episode of What's in the Box. This week, crap. Oh. Alright, Warren, you're back from the bushes.
Yes.
Come on in.
That weird dude there, right. What's in the box?
I'm surrounded by strangers. Right, this week guys, well, you know the first product. What have we got?
I know nothing about Assault on Normandy. What are you talking about?
No, Assault on Normandy isn't the first product.
Oh, okay, we're going to
First
talk
one
about
up
the...
is going to be the Briscards for Infinity. Myself and
Fantastic.
Carlos have sat down and had a look through these. And yes, it is quite fun. And
So
Carlos,
we actually have somebody in that video that knows what they're talking about then?
yeah, for a change.
Right, okay.
Why are you two messing about with me? I
So
hate
what
you both.
did you learn?
Basically, instead of saying Briscards, the French actually say Briscard. So rather more eloquent, shall we say?
Biscuit.
Biscuit.
So who explained it to you?
Carlos.
Carlos,
The Spaniard.
the Spaniard. Excellent.
Okay.
But no, we had a good laugh, we had a good chat about
So
it.
that's basically what you learn. So you're telling me anybody that watches this video, all they're going to learn is that the pronunciation of Briscards.
No, they're going to learn how these were sculpted, the
right?
fact that Infinity's going from traditional sculpting to 3D sculpting with a lot of their stuff.
Cool.
And we also get to show off a couple of the studio painted minis that Carlos had brought along with him when he was across for a visit.
That sounds awesome.
So, I think we'll pass on to you for the next product, and that, for you, is this.
Hey.
Little Hordes. Very little Hordes.
You never go little on
Did you say little
Little Hordes.
All right, okay.
And now I've had to beat him. He's not back 2 minutes with me till I'm having to beat him. Wonderful.
So what are we looking at there?
This is the Afflictor. The Afflictor is for the Legion of Everblight.
The Afflictor, that's the cool model with the spike coming out of its
That's
tail.
the big giant tail thing that, yes, infects people.
An ovipositor? Ovipositor.
Ovipositor,
An
yes.
ovipositor.
Yes.
Egg laying.
Yes.
Like
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 yes.
a suppository,
Yeah.
only in reverse.
Kills an enemy
Yes.
warrior model, and you now have a new Legion model on the table.
Fantastic.
Incubus.
So, and who's in that video then?
That's myself and Mike.
Yourself and Mike. Cool.
Yeah,
Right.
and the
What
last,
did you learn?
from that one, I don't like Legion, but I already knew that.
Okay, right. And the last one.
Yeah. Here, get ready for the ego inbound.
It's me! It's me! The man that never does unboxings.
Has stepped
right?
into an
I
unboxing.
don't do historical.
Yep.
And I ended up
Doing both.
in a historical unboxing.
You did Assault on Normandy.
Yeah.
I did it.
It's actually
So-
a really cool box.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
It's an awesome little starter set. There's no point in me telling you much more about it because that's why you're going to watch the show. Other than that, stay tuned and you could win something.
Time for more Infinity. Right, let's get some Ariadna on the table. You know, they're the faction that a lot of people keep complaining to me, but they're dirty. They don't have hackers. I can't hack them. What's going on? So these are the Briscards, or as the French would say, Briscard.
Correct.
And Roman, I know you're probably wanting to kill me right now. Right, so here they are. So another 4-man unit. Very, very cool design. They're not as high tech as some, but that's Ariadna for you. They look like a modern day SWAT team.
Yeah, and they have that feel of mountain troops. If you can look at them, they look like climbers and soldiers at the same time.
Yeah, and then you have the grizzled veteran with what appears to be a sniper rifle.
As usual with Gutierrez and Ariadna profiles, they have a very long name that is very hard to put in the logo here because it makes the whole round logo. If we read it completely, it's like Briscard, 8th Regiment d'Infanterie de Montagne. Sorry, French people, I'm just not.
No, you're not. And I may have to beep that. We don't curse. Or maybe you said it low enough. I will test, guys. If I've beeped, I apologize. But no, they're a really, really cool troop for the Ariadna. I mean, like, they just have that real purposeful look to them, you know. So let's get all the bodies.
The artwork from this box is from Renan Sanchez.
Ah, right. So what? He took care of the front, you took care of the rear again?
I don't remember, probably. Yes, I did.
Right, well, here we have the bodies. So, again, these guys are reasonably weighty. You know, very cool designs. Is it 2 body poses again?
Yes, the usual formula with these boxes is 2 copies of the same body, and then different arms and complements.
Yeah. No, again, really, really cool design. Who was it sculpted these?
These were sculpted by Pedro Fernandez.
Yeah, and is it traditional sculpt, 3D sculpt?
Yes, it's traditional sculpt.
Traditional,
yes.
right. So we'll get all the little bits.
He's a guy with lot of talent with the poses. I mean, we usually give some instructions, indications with the poses, but with Pedro Fernandez, it's just okay. We just give him a slightly reference because he's so good posing miniatures. He managed to have very natural feeling to those poses. He has made the Loup Garou and the Wallace miniature, William Wallace. He's very good, this sculptor.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, all the little packs and stuff are perfect, and little backpacks and stuff around the back. So it's like you said, they do look like a mountain team, as if they would be sent out as a rescue op.
Yes, and just going many days into the mountain, surviving with their own stuff.
Yeah, really, really cool. Okay, so we'll pull the bodies out yet again, and we'll start dropping in some of the weaponry. So this is a marksman rifle, I think.
Marksman rifle, yes.
Yep, I think we have 2 of those.
Yes, this was the first true profile with these new weapons, because this is from Campaign Paradiso.
Yeah.
So if I put it here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you can see marksman rifle, assault pistol, which is also a very cool weapon, sniper rifle, and marksman rifle. And there is a separate blister with the heavy rocket launcher.
Aha, so that'll let you make your
5-man fire team.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Having a rocket launcher and a 5-man fire team seems a bit like overkill. Yeah, okay guys, we've got them covered. I've got this. Fudum. Job's done.
And it's fire ammunition, which behaves especially well against Toha and troops with that annoying ODD skill that makes them so hard to hit. So this will be a good fire team to kill the Reverend Moira fire team.
Right. And then this is our guy with his assault pistol.
Yes.
So I assume he'll have other abilities because he has an assault pistol.
Well, he's, apart from the assault pistol, he will have normal weapons. But we make a version with the assault pistol because if this guy reaches a close distance with the enemy, he will use the assault pistol and he will have a very high burst value. Especially if he's in a fire team, I guess he probably will reach the 5 dices. So it's great to reach that distance.
Yeah, well, it seems like a nice little all-rounder team, because you've got the marksman rifles, and then is there a sniper rifle in amongst that as well?
Yes.
Or yes, I think this is your sniper rifle that's slightly bigger than the marksman's ones.
Yes.
And then Ariadna have the heavy round ammunition.
It's what I was telling you about big guns and small guns. The newer guns are smaller because they fit better in the miniatures. This is the old model of sniper rifle, which we like very much, but because it's bigger.
Yeah, so you actually can see there, the transition between bigger guns and smaller guns, so that the miniatures can hold it one-handed and have that nice dynamic pose.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one thing always to like, because I mean, like, even some of the painted ones, I've seen more and more great poses. I mean, like, you'll probably have seen this on an earlier unboxing, and it's my favourite miniature from the Infinity range at the minute. So we'll quickly drag these out, and Carlos, you've brought with you the fantastic Penthesilea.
Yes.
She is stunning.
And looks right on the table, really, yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I have no idea how Angel got the pearlescence on the actual black of the bike. It just looks so nice and so cool. I mean, like, we still have one of these sitting up in the office there.
The ass, very important part.
Yes, of course. Everybody likes a nice ass. Let's be honest. No, come on, guys. You're out there. Be honest. But such a lovely mini, and you can see that really nice dynamic pose.
The thing is, we spend one day making the front view of the design, and then like a whole month designing different versions of the back. Yes.
Yeah.
Happens constantly.
Oh, right. So you're just going, right, I want that left cheek just to be that little bit more perky.
Yeah. People come from, Gutierrez and all the team goes, no, make another version. This is not quite perfect. But
no, absolutely
beautiful.
Of course we are. But no, as you see, guys, we have some of the fantastically painted studio minis here done by Angel. So I think I'm actually going to pick out... No, actually, I've picked out one, so now you get to pick out one that you want to show everybody at home. Pick out your favourite from what's sitting here.
Oof, it's difficult to choose from. I have one that suits perfectly for what we're talking about. This is the female Fidei with bow and shotgun, and she has quite a nice...
Yeah, a nice, quite nice posterior.
She has a beautiful hair, yes.
Yeah, and what is the detail sculpted into the legs on her as well?
Yes, everything.
Again, all of us painters out there who are perhaps subpar compared to the great masters, we at least have a chance to make these look absolutely beautiful. But as always, guys, beautiful stuff for Infinity. I love these guys. Well, I love everything in Infinity, let's be honest. So what do you think, Carlos? Will we move on?
Yes.
Or is there anything we've missed?
No, I think we said everything enough about them, the Briscards.
Okay. Well, join us next time. We have something to give away, guys. The Briscards. Myself and Carlos.
You're back.
Yes.
You've just watched Justin and Carlos and Justin learning amazing things about the Ariadna business cards.
I hate the way he's so hyper right now. I'm never feeding him energy drinks again. Anyway,
I have
guys.
discovered this wonderful thing called Relentless. Yes, these guys in the Weekender were sitting with all the little product placements of what was it, Red Bull and everything.
I was roasting up in here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're not getting paid by Red Bull to say nice things about
No,
Red
we're
Bull.
not. No, we're not.
Unfortunately. Anyway, so now's your chance to win something.
Yep, you can win the Briscards for
Business
Infinity.
cards. Yep.
Briscards.
Business cards.
Briscards.
Okay. Show them.
Yep. Right. Well, guys, if you're wanting to win, put a post on beastsofwar.com, not YouTube, and your name will be called out in the Weekender.
No to that. You can comment on YouTube or beastsofwar.com, and if you do both, you double your chances of winning. How about that? Couldn't be fairer than that.
Fair enough.
Other than that, you're now about to watch
The Afflictor.
The Afflictor. Enjoy.
So, Mike, you're happy today.
Yeah, I can't wait for this one again.
I'm not so happy, guys. We have the Afflictor. This is one of those controversial pieces. You know, the sculptor will have sat down and went, yes, this is amazing. This is my masterpiece.
I think it's
and
amazing.
it went to the interwebs, and a lot of people went, look at that tail. It's a little weird.
Oh yes.
Anyway, well, let's start with all the MacGuffin and stuff.
Yep.
Mike, you will want that.
Yes.
Even though I know you already run one of these, so you probably already know pretty much what it does.
The second one, because what they can do. It's from Speed 6, Strength 7, Mat 6, Rat 4, Defense 13, Armour 15, Command 7, Eyeless Sight being Legion. Its Ovipositor is a Power 5, giving it a PNS of 12. It's 4 points.
Yeah.
And if you want to see the health bar on it,
it's not too bad for a light.
not great, but it's Fury 5.
It's a light.
Fury 3, sorry.
Threshold 9.
Threshold 9.
Yeah.
So
that Threshold 9's good.
yep, that's got some great special rules.
Alright, well here, you take the card out the way. I'll show off the base. And this thing, hang on, is this maybe a mild little mispack from the guys over at Privateer? We have an extra wing.
So we'll get rid of that one because it only has 2 wings.
It only has 2 wings. It's alright, that's a mispack in your favour. I'm sure we can convert that up for something. But no, it's really nice, simple, clean little detail on the wings. You know, you've got all the little folds of stretched flesh, and the bones going through it. It's really nice. And let's get to the business end.
Yep.
The actual body of the Afflictor.
Oh yeah.
With that big, nasty,
Ovipositor.
spiked tail thing.
Yeah.
I'm not calling it that because it just sounds so wrong. No, again, it's really nice detail. Yeah. Very impressed, as always, from Privateer. Their metals are just great.
I love that little stuff.
All right, so Mike, hang on. We've seen the bits. What's this thing going to do? Because I think I've maybe seen you play this once and seen something very bad happen.
Yeah, it's got a special rule with the Ovipositor. It's called Infection.
Alright.
If once per activation, when it kills an enemy model, infantry model preferably.
Right, so it has to be a living warrior model?
A living enemy warrior model.
Right.
If it kills it, instead of just taking the model off the table, replace it with one of your own incubi.
Right. Now, this is something I asked you beforehand.
Yep.
This comes in a blister on its own, guys, and I thought, right, well, if this thing makes incubi, why is it not packed with incubi?
It's because came out in the Gargantuan's release, and incubi were in a previous release.
Yeah, so it's already a staple of the army, you would think, so people would already have it.
Oh, they're amazing. I don't see why you wouldn't. This just made more of a reason to use them.
Right. Well, I mean,
you're
like,
getting them for free.
Exactly. I mean, like, how many points is this?
That's a 4-point model.
4-point model. How much is an incubi?
An incubi, you get 5 for 5 points.
5 for 5. So they're a point apiece.
Yeah.
So every time you kill a living enemy warrior model,
You get
each turn.
Incubi, so it's for point.
Yeah. So he becomes a point cheaper each turn.
But the incubi can also act as soon as they can start.
So hang on. I've just killed your warrior.
Yep.
Guess what? This one that just appeared can turn round and smack the rest of your unit.
At mat 7.
Oh.
With 2 attacks.
Oh. And you say Legion aren't dirty?
They're not.
Yes.
No.
Okay, I'm not getting into this argument.
It's a 4-point model. It's only got 1 attack.
Yeah.
It's only power 12.
Yeah.
It's only mat 6. It's got to hit the enemy model.
Boost.
Yeah.
And boost the damage to make sure it's dead and you're getting your 1-point incubi.
Yeah.
You know, with that Fury 3, 1 for the charge, 1 for the attack, and 1 for boosting the damage. I have. Oh yeah, on the charge.
Because of the charge. Yeah.
And then if you fluff that, you can still buy 1 more.
Yeah. But it's what you do with the incubi when they come out. It's also, this is Animus, is really good.
Okay.
It's called Cosrid Protector. I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's really nice.
Where is it?
The Animus, top one.
Corsid Protector or something?
Yeah.
I'm sorry guys.
Yeah.
As we all know at the best of times, my English isn't so good.
It's a cost of
I
1.
swear I'm from here.
Cost of 1, range self. It's not upkeepable, it's not offensive. It's this model against Sacrificial Pawn Soulless Warrior. So it's for 1 round. When this model is hit by an enemy attack, instead of this taking the damage, a Soulless Warrior takes the damage. Incubi are Soulless Warriors.
Right. So even after you've created the thing, you can have it take the shot for you.
Yeah.
How many boxes on an incubi?
They're only 1 health.
Oh, so they're a 1-box mini.
Yep.
Still, I assume that's all damage. So if someone has really went heavy to knock that out in 1 turn,
Yeah.
you can just go, nope, pop. He'll be back.
Yeah, but it's pretty good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's got within 3 inches of him.
That's still not too bad, because if you think after you've created that incubi,
Yeah.
that's going to probably go into the unit that you're already on. Or it's going to try and break the lines.
It normally goes into the unit or goes to charge something else or 1 out of the way.
Well, that's the Afflictor, guys. I don't know how to put this. I'm trying to say it's a nice sculpt, but I'm sorry, I don't like Legion. My own personal preference for style just doesn't allow me.
Yeah, what's wrong with Legion? It's great. You can fly war beasts at things. It's got flight, so ignore scenery.
Yeah.
Can't attack your caster because it's blood creation.
Uh,
And one of the other special rules about the Afflictor is your opponent can't take over it and use it against you.
yeah, I suppose that saves your opponent of going, oh look, I took control of your Afflictor, I've attacked one of your guys.
Yeah.
Wait, my Cato army has an incubi in it now?
Yep.
What? Yeah, I don't think that'll work. Right, anyway guys, we'll move on here and see you again soon.
So gents, in this one we're going to have a look at Assault on Normandy. This is the starter box for bolt action. So if you're looking to get into the game, this is the box to pick up. Let me try and get that on there. There you go, Assault on Normandy. Great piece of artwork. The artwork come from Osprey, did it?
Yeah, it's all from the Osprey catalogue of art, and you will see inside the rulebook as well. It's beautifully illustrated.
Yeah. So we're going to have a look at the box, and I'm joined by Andy and Alessio. Andy's from Warlord, Alessio is from Warlord and others. So, chaps, let's crack this open and see what we've got. So, on the top, we have obviously the bolt action rulebook itself. So, Alessio, what can you tell us about the rulebook? I'm going to flick through it here a little bit while you're talking.
Yeah,
so.
well, the rulebook has been published by Osprey and written by myself and Rick Priestley. And the illustrations, as I said before, they're from the Osprey collection. There's a lot of beautiful stuff in there. It was very evocative and very traditional looking. But obviously it's complemented, like this picture you're showing, with this fantastic these pictures that we've been taking with the toy soldiers. And you know, they almost look like the real thing. That could almost be a picture from history. And so that's the style we went for the photography. So you have a little bit of historical introduction, but not much really.
Yeah.
And you go straight into the rules, where actually you have all the rules of the game, which are not quite there's not a lot of text, to be honest. And
well, it's
after the rules,
split into, you have the basic supplies, that's your dice, tape measures and things like that. The conventions of war, so that's measuring distances, sight, table boundaries. Units, where it's talking about the types of units, formations, stuff like that. The turn, then orders, then movement, then shooting, and then the weapons and the close quarters, headquarters. It's all really well structured from that perspective.
well, I hope so.
So the first, basically, Alessio, the first half of the book, is it? The first...
roughly half of the book is rules, yes.
Yeah. So, and then after
scenarios.
that...
There's the scenarios there as well in the first half. Basically just 6 core scenarios with a variety of objectives and ways to win the game or coming onto the table.
Yeah, so up to page 104 is basically the rules, and then from that on it's choosing your scenarios from the book. So here you have deciding the size of the game, the gaming table, etc. And then from 121 on is all about the force selection, because that's the key to this, isn't it? Really, that everything you need to begin with is all in the one book.
Including the army lists. Yes, that's the big thing. That one book has half of rules and the other half is army lists.
Now, the other thing about this that I found very interesting and very useful is that the army lists themselves are generic. So basically, I could go in and just create whatever army I want.
Correct.
Or if I choose a specific theatre of war, it then narrows my selection and says you can choose this, 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 or this.
Not in the core rulebook. The core rulebook doesn't have the selectors, and the core rulebook sticks with a very, like you were saying, very generic, what they call a reinforced platoon.
Yeah.
So a platoon has an HQ unit, normally a lieutenant, and 2 infantry squads. So that's your core of the platoon. If you field that, then it gives you access to a lot of other things that you can stick into the platoon, like 1 tank, up to 1 tank, up to 1 armored car, up to 1 field gun, so up to 1 sniper, etc. So once you put together your platoon, up to a certain point value, total point value, if you want, you can just make 1 huge platoon with lots of stuff in it, or you can go, right, I'll do a small one, and then pick another reinforced platoon, and my force will be made of several platoons all together, so a company-sized force or something like this. And that's the generic selector. That is the generic selector, and the 4 army lists in there, which are Germany, United Kingdom, United States, and the Soviet Union. Those 4 army lists in there give you quite a lot of choice with the core selector. The more specifically historical selectors are actually in the army books.
That's in the expansions to this then. Okay, so as it stands, it's not taking itself, it doesn't force you into a period of the war per se. You can basically build an army list based on, well, in my case, what I think's cool. You know, if I'm allowed to do it and I think it's cool, and then I can do that. However, if you want to look at it from a more reenactment or simulation point of view, then going for the actual specific army books from then on gives you selectors that are narrowed based on theatre or time period or whatever.
The selectors will help you to form a force if you're not, because if you're an historically minded person that knows already a lot, then you don't need the selector, because you already know what forces, what units go together, which period tanks. I'm doing late war, I can use these tanks. I'm doing early war, I cannot use these tanks, I use these tanks. So, if you're an historian as well as a gamer, then you don't need help. But if you don't know your history that in much detail, then you go into the selectors in the books, and they will help you form a force that is perfectly viable, perfectly sensible for the period you've chosen.
And it allows you to fight in some of the more well-known battles and things like that there, and you can do it it's helpful for me anyway, because I really don't know what bits of the army were used in what periods and what battles.
There's almost infinite variety in all of these war games and things like that. So what this does is it allows you to taste it, and then the theatre selectives will help you kind of refine for those that don't know.
Or if you don't want to refine it,
Yeah.
which I'm tempted myself probably not to refine it,
Exactly.
I can just make crazy lists with and Stugs.
21 maybe.
So the other thing then is we have the Assault on Normandy, which basically gives us two army lists. It details 2 army lists that can be made with the box.
Correct. Yep.
And then on the back it gives you some of the where to next. So and on this is Stug 3 and the Sherman, which I highly recommend, because I've played the game with these 2 added to the box, and I thought it was brilliant. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the important thing for us was to put something in there so you didn't have to read through the rule book straight away to get the whole thing. So you get 20 Americans, you get 20 Germans, and this is a suggested way to put those guys together. So you get 2 or 3 or 4 units, you get your command section, you actually get a weapons team in there as well if you want, and you can just play the game with that.
Right, underneath that then we get to another layer, and then under this is where all the goodies are. So let's get that out of the way and start to get dug in. So first up we have 4 sprues of what I believe are Americans.
Yeah, correct.
So let's have a look at the sprues and see what's on them. So Andy, do you want to start pointing out some bits and pieces on the actual sprues themselves?
These go hand in hand with the next 2 weapon sprues that come out as well, but this is the main body of the American army. The core infantry, you get 5 guys on the sprue, one of which is broken down so you can actually be kneeling. So regularly, if you want your snipers or a firing post to be near, or a commander, you can do that.
Yeah, so here's the legs here and torso.
Yeah.
We have ammo belts, water bottles, knives. Are these commando knives? Are they on this particular sprue? Just general
knives on there.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got the backpacks with and without the shovels.
Yeah.
You have a number of different heads. Whether
Selection
you want
of head
netting on
options.
there. There's actually a cool one with a cigar as well if you want your sergeant or your NCO to actually.
Here we go. Here, there's it's some bitch. So the interesting thing is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on the sprue, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 heads. So there's a bit of selection and choice there.
And obviously you've got 12 sets of arms, because regularly you want weapons in one hand, you want them perhaps in a firing outpost. There's a lot of variety once you mix that in with the running or standing or shooting.
You need the pointing guy.
Yeah, you need the pointing guy to be your sergeant.
The pointy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in the middle.
There it is there, pointing hand. So you get 4 of those sprues. It also comes with the bases. But the interesting thing about these bases is they're exactly the same size as a British 2p piece.
Yeah, 25 mil. Exactly.
So if you decided that you wanted a bit more weight to your models, and I was having a look at this, it works really well. You could just swap them out for a 2p, and it gives your models just a little bit more weight.
Although you can't spend the bases, so
no. There's a trade-off to be had there. I take it these weapon sprues here for the Americans. So
again, mainly rifles and generic squad weaponry. Lots of pistols, lots more ammo belts on there. But you also see a few team weapons as well. You have a sniper rifle with a scope.
Point away, man.
Point away, there we go.
Yeah.
Sniper rifle up here. You have a bazooka, so you can actually make a bazooka team, which in bolt action is a separate entity. We'll work.
There's a submachine gun there.
Yeah, that's called a grease gun, that one. That's quite a cool one. And then obviously you got the Thompson submachine gun, Tommy gun.
Yeah, so
very, very iconic.
From game terms, okay, the sniper rifle I found in the game to be particularly effective.
You were particularly good with it.
The sniper allows you to pick out individual guys within a unit, which is important in a game of bolt action, because if you can take out the leaders, you actually reduce their capacity for being able to do stuff. Because
you degrade their control.
Their control.
You can even pick out bazooka firers, as we saw, and the guys with the light machine guns, if they're in the middle of a squad, you can still pick them out. It's great.
And the bazookas themselves are, well, I find it very effective against my Stugs. It was quite
lucky,
terrifying, actually. There's some other ammunition belts and pouches and things on here. There's some pistols, which are useful in close combat.
Yes.
Because you get an extra attack or something if you have a pistol in close
most
combat.
Most officers are obviously just armed with a pistol. It was obviously normal practice for them to want to tell the guys what to do rather than get stuck into long-range firefights. They were given pistols. But yeah, they were very useful close-up.
And then you have a selection of rifles, and you're going to need
a couple of carbines. Yeah. Again, in game terms, there is no granulation between all the rifles. A rifle is a rifle. So whether it be a carbine or an Enfield or whatever, it gets one dice.
It is just a rifle.
Yeah, it's just a rifle.
And they look like Tommy guns here.
Yeah, Thompson.
So do the Tommy guns, they're like submachine guns as well, are they? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, submachine guns is a category, so whatever type of submachine gun it is, will get the 2 dice in. It's an assault weapon, so different from the rifle.
And is there any heavy machine guns on this sprue? Or
not on that one. The Americans didn't really use them as a squad weapon, so they were quite separate. But when we get to the Germans in a second,
which is where we're going now.
There is no machine gun, but you could point out the BAR.
Yeah.
So,
okay, which one's the BAR?
Just next to the sniper rifle.
Okay,
Is a Browning automatic rifle, which is kind of in between the rifle and a light machine gun.
So what do you get for that in games terms?
In game terms, it's the same rate of fire as like the submachine gun, but a longer range. I think it's 30-inch range. So it's even longer slightly than the...
so what you get, 3 dice for that? Or two dice for that?
So it's something really, like Andy was saying, in between a rifle and a light machine gun. So it kind of does a bit of both. And that was the American kind of steam-based squad.
Squad-based weapon.
And then what is this component here, actually, before we put it away?
That is bazooka rockets in a pouch that somebody would carry on their back, in a backpack. So a couple of extra things. It's not a one-shot weapon. We saw with the Panzerfaust, it's a one-shot weapon, they were throwing it away. The bazooka team definitely wasn't. You loaded a rocket in the back, you fired it.
Yeah, so you get to,
you had to have more ammunition.
To fire it loads of times.
Absolutely.
Next up, we have German sprues, and we have 4 of these little bad boys. So let me get a look at these. They're all identical again, these 4 sprues, but let's see what we've got on this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 German bodies on this. A series of backpacks. Some of these backpacks look like they have, is it radios on them, or what's the little...
That's,
or am I holding
upside down?
Upside down. There we go.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh yes, it's a grenade.
So they had the potato mashing grenade.
Yeah.
So all sorts of stick grenade.
And head-wise, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 heads again.
Yeah. So again, plenty of variety.
And can you swap heads? Can you buy other heads, like metal heads and things like that for these?
Or? Something that Warlord has done for a number of years now is something called the figurehead system.
Yeah.
So pretty much all of the sculpts coming through, whether it be metal or plastic, will have the head removed. It allows you to do all sorts of head swaps, whether you want camo netting heads or bear heads or different squadrons or different things. So it really allows you to convert with just a one thing. So you don't have to chop away and take them off your metal figures, which everybody knows is a pain.
So you can have a bear head.
Head of a bear.
Yeah, so,
is it an actual bear head?
It's a bear head, yeah. You get big bear claws.
So
wrong game.
Yeah.
Weapons, the weapon sprue, 3 of those, they're the same as well.
Yep.
So on the weapon sprue, what have we got this time? So we have rifles here. There is there a sniper rifle on this as well?
There is. Again, this one's got a scope, just in case you wanted a sniper in there. You don't have to use a sniper every time, obviously, but it's there if you want it.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of light machine guns, which we alluded to earlier. There's actually an MG34 and a 42, so you've got the early war and the late war version. Because even mid-late war, they were still using any machine guns that worked. It didn't matter that it had been superseded. So really good. You've got an SG44 assault rifle. Assault rifles we didn't actually use in the game earlier, for those that have seen it. It is a long range, the same range as a rifle itself. It has 2 shots, so and it has the assault rule, so there's no penalty for movement. These things came in 44 and onwards. They were the real core of the German army at that point. They kicked out so much firepower. They're fantastic.
And there's submachine guns in here as well,
and then
and pistols. And there's a Panzerfaust weapon there.
So again, it's an infantry weapon. They would have had 1, 2, sometimes more in a squad. And if there was a tank around, they would have.
And what about grenades? Because I see the potato masher grenades on this as well. Can you equip your squad with grenades? Because in the game that I've played so far to date, there was no grenades in it. I didn't have the option to actually chuck grenades.
That's right,
but
yeah. Now, there was an interesting design conversation that happened with grenades, and what we ended up doing was the only type of grenade that actually have rules in the games are specifically anti-tank grenades. So if you have some squads can be equipped with anti-tank grenades and other type of anti-tank weaponry. So basically stuff that you would charge next to a tank and actually stick a magnetic charge or a sticky bomb or something that is specifically done to disable a vehicle. So those have rules. They basically increase your chances of taking out a vehicle if you're assaulted. But other than that, there are no other rules for grenades. What we've done is we assumed that as both sides would have effectively equivalent amount of grenades and the same type, effectively so the anti-personnel grenades, they would have roughly cancelled each other out.
yeah,
The problem with actually writing rules for grenades, because of the granularity in the system, you always tend to have them a bit too good.
Yes.
So that suddenly they become the weapon of choice for anything and everything.
Yeah.
So we actually, with Rick, we discussed this long and hard and decided to go, right, no, well, if you ignore the grenades as in a throwing weapon for everybody, there's assumptions in there, of course, that when you go into an assault, you would be when that gives you an advantage in assaulting. There's any squad, even normal squads, that don't have any specific anti-tank weaponry can still have a decent chance of taking out a vehicle in close combat. That's another assumption, that they would be using their normal grenades to try to damage the tank. So there's assumptions and moments in the rules when the grenades have been subsumed into the rules, but there's no throwing grenades per se.
Okay. Digging into the box a bit further, we obviously have some bases here, so for the Germans themselves, so 20 bases. I'll move that just out of the way a bit further, and then we have here a piece of terrain actually. So let's rip this open. So what, Andy? What am I looking at here? God, I'm looking at a lot of pieces here. Is what I'm looking at. Yeah.
This is the ruined farmhouse. This is again, it's a hard plastic kit that can be put together in any number of ways.
Yeah.
It's supposed to represent a generic, blown up, derelict, ruined farmhouse from most areas of Europe, most areas of the world probably have got something.
Yeah.
Stone things, a bit dilapidated, obviously shelled through the war or destroyed earlier. But the beauty of it is there is no set way to put it together. So you can have small walls with big walls. You can have two separate entities. So you can have, so it looks like a two-segmented building. And actually, it works very well within the rules that you can move within the thing. You've got half a roof, you've got a floor, you've got a chimney coming out the side. Just a very great way to make a piece of scenery. You can interact with.
Yeah, it's absolutely stacks and stacks of little pieces within this. So, if you and a mate wanted to get into this game, is there any benefit to buying a box each and then divvying the stuff up between you?
Yeah, it's specifically designed obviously as a starter set, and with most starter sets, what you want is have an opponent to play against.
Yeah.
So this. 2 people can play from the one box, and you've got 20 guys each.
Yeah.
If you really get into it, and a lot of people do, they buy a box each. They've both got a rule book.
Yeah.
They've both got a farmhouse, or whoever does the team can do that, and then you swap your Germans for your Americans. You've got 40 guys each.
Yeah.
And that is enough with the support of some of the metal and the resin pieces, the anti-tank guns and the other tanks that we were talking about earlier, to take you right up to 1,000 points and beyond. You don't need much more infantry than that for a full game. So yeah, very much a good way of getting in from the start, but also to expand your force from there.
Yeah. In the last couple of items in this particular box, we have the order dice in the box, which is very handy because, well, the game wouldn't run as effectively without them. Although you can just use normal dice.
You can.
And choose the orders or set the orders. So you've got.
Yeah.
2 colours of order dice in there, so you've got your allies and your Germans. They have, I'll just run over the orders again, just in case you're wondering, but you'll see it in the playthrough video. You can run, where basically you get a double move. You can advance, which is a move and shoot. You can ambush, where you basically, it's like putting a unit into Overwatch. You can put it onto that, and then if a unit moves, or an enemy unit moves in their arc of fire, they can choose to shoot at it, or to remain in ambush and wait for somebody else. They can go down, which basically means it's -1 to your roll to be shot at.
Sometimes you're forced to go down as well if you fail an order check or something. So that's quite
you can fire, which means that you stand and you fire. What is it? Do you get +1 for doing that?
Fire at full effect basically means you get all of the dice in there and everything that's in range, but you get no minuses.
Yes.
The advance where you move your 6 inches for infantry, you actually get a -1 to hit. So standing still and firing.
And there are some weapons, some really heavy weapons, that actually you have to be standing still to fire. You cannot move and fire.
And then finally you've got rally, because one of the key points of this game is as you play it, you pick up pinned markers, and the more pinned markers you pick up, the less effective you be, and they start disobeying orders because they just staying crouched down on the ground. You can do a rally order, and if you get the rally order off, you take off D6 of those pin markers, so it's a really good way of taking what's an ineffective unit and suddenly making it an effective unit again.
Okay, Sergeant slapping you upside the head.
Finally, there's 2 pages in the box, which contains the sprues and details of exactly what's on the sprues themselves, guys. So as you can see, it's a really, really nice way of being able to look at the sprues and see just what's on them, because there's just stacks of stuff on them. There's your US infantry weapons sprue there, and as you can see, it's just tons of stuff on it. So
wargamers like us obviously play everything from sci-fi and fantasy to historical gaming, and we all need a bit of help sometimes spotting what everything is. We're not expecting everybody out there to have an encyclopedic knowledge of everything. That's why the rule system is very simple. It's why we also explain what all the guns are. Exactly the same reason you were looking at them and asking.
Well, absolutely, because one of the things you often find in you pick up a historical box set is it kind of assumes that you already know what you're looking at, and I know certainly in my case I don't, and I'll freely admit I don't. But having something like that is a really nice way for me to be able to gradually get to grips with it and learn the items that are in there. Anyway, guys. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back, guys. Well, I didn't think the Assault on Normandy was too bad, Warren. Not too bad for your first unboxing.
Well, it wasn't my first unboxing. All right, I've done a few, but
well, you see, I don't think you mentioned the movie once during that.
Well, look, here's my thing, right? It's a starter set. I've really enjoyed Bolt Action, which you're going to see in an upcoming video, where I've actually recorded my first game.
Bolt Action for the win.
No. Baffo. No, I enjoyed it. The box itself has a load of stuff in it, and what I used to get into the game was just this and a little bit extra. It was also nice having Alessio and Andy. I like putting Alessio on the spot, because Alessio can never remember his own rules, which is always nice.
He's written so many, to be fair.
Well, I think the way you introduced him was, so I'm joined by Alessio and Andy. Andy is from Warlord, Alessio is from Warlord and others. Yeah,
Alessio has more gaming t-shirts, more company gaming t-shirts than any man I know.
And he has his own one.
Yeah. And he has his own with the big hippo horse on it.
Yeah, River Horse.
River Horse. Anyway, enough of our gabbing.
Yep,
we hope you enjoyed. Jinx, we hope you enjoyed the show. And remember, if you want to win the Ariadna business cards, all you have to do, go on, you can say it. How does it pronounce?
Briscards.
No, pronounce it properly, the way you were told.
Briscard.
Briscard.
And Roman, I know you want to kick my ass.
They're cool.
If you want to win them, how you pronounce that, though, I'd imagine.
No, it probably is, because I have a horrible French accent. Anyway, finish up the show.
Comment here, comment on YouTube, get yourself a packet of these. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with What's in the Box next week.